So the last few weeks we've been working with finding the area of polygons. And polygons are two-dimensional shapes. They have a length and a width. Now we're going to start looking at three-dimensional shapes, and all of these are three-dimensional. They're not flat. They have a third dimension. There's some important vocabulary you need to know for talking about three-dimensional shapes, and we're going to be going over that now. Let's start with the basics with a cube. A cube is made up of 6 identical squares. So all of these are squares, and they're all the same size. When we talk about 3D shapes, a lot of times people will say, oh, the side. And the side could be this, or the side could be this. It's not really clear. So there's some math terms that are a little clearer. This flat part is called a face. So here is one face, 2 faces, 3 faces. I thought that one looked a little like Mr. Rich. 4 faces, 5 faces, and we even have a 6th face with a mullet. So this cube has 6 faces, and it's difficult. I know sometimes I want to call them a side too, but if somebody talks about how many faces an object has, they're talking about how many flat surfaces. So this one has 6. Where those faces meet, like this or like this, is called an edge. So if we look at this cube, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges in the back, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges here. So we have 12 edges in this cube. Also in this cube we have corners, but in math we don't call them corners, we call them vertices. If you have one, it's a vertex. Plural, it's vertice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices in this cube. All right, now let's take a look at some other shapes. Looking at this one, when we have a prism always has to have identical parallel bases. And you could think of the bases as the top and the bottom. Like this has a triangle and a triangle that are the same size and they're parallel. But it could be this way. It could be that the bases are on the ends. Just depends which way the object is turned. We always name our prisms for their bases. So this has a triangle as a base, so this is called a triangular prism. And this triangular prism has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. If we look at the edges, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 edges. And corners or vertices, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we've got 6 vertices in this triangular prism. This prism's a little more complicated. If you look at the base of this prism, it has 6 sides or 6 edges. So this is a hexagonal prism. And the hexagonal prism would have 6 faces, and then one on the top and one on the bottom for a total of 8 faces in our hexagonal prism. If you think about the corners or the vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 on the bottom, so 12 vertices. If you think about the edges, we've got 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom, and 6 around. So this has 18 edges. Hopefully you're getting more used to the terms of edges and face and vertices. Let's take a look at this shape. Well, it's made up of polygons. Do you see bases? So is this a prism? Oh, this is actually a pyramid. It does have identical triangles, but those triangles are not parallel to each other, so this is not a prism. Let's look at this one, this shape. Well, this circle and this circle are identical, and they're parallel, right? So is this a prism? Are you sure? It's not a prism because it's not made up of polygons. Circles are not polygons. This is a cylinder, it's a 3D object, but it is not a prism. So hopefully that gets you straight on the vocabulary that you're going to need for 3D shapes. And now you can just answer a couple questions in your Google form, and tomorrow we will be adding those terms to our Quizlet.